first video, this one. I'm gonna try and fly through it, I'm not gonna lie to you. So at some point I did speak to you guys about this cam. Let me see if I can switch it on for you guys. Let me see. So what it is the Go Hero, not Go Hero, man said the Hero, no, the DJI, the Hero, let me start again. What this is the DJI Hero 2. It's a nice little cool thing. I'm gonna do it from far so you guys can actually see. So on one side, I'll show you, let me separate it. So in theory what it is basically like a GoPro. You have a cam on one side, and then you obviously have the screen on the other side. It's really, really cool. For some reason it's not showing up very well on my camera over there, but it's quite a high spec cam. I don't know if it will show it without blurring or none of that stuff. So it's blurring, but out here it's not blurring. But it's really cool. It looks nice. It's made out of a nice fabric. It seems firm. It seems very high spec and built well. The only thing I will say about this is, oh yeah, and it comes with another bottom bit which I believe is meant to be like a, it's meant to act like a charger. So it connects onto the bottom through like a magnet. I'll show you guys quickly. So there's a magnet on that side, and I believe you just strap them together like that. And then obviously if I need to, though this one is the camera side, and then I've got that. If for example as a user I want to use this screen, I can just slide up and unlock it, and then what it will do is it will lock this back screen, but as a user you'd be able to look at yourself as you film. So it is pretty cool camera. Functions, I see a mic, so I see quite a few mics. Like there's a mic on the actual camera there, there's a light sensor, very small, there's another mic right there, mic on the side, I don't know if you can see that one, and then it has like these lock-in hinges on both sides, and I believe that's what these two clicky things on this are connecting to, or what they lock into, should I say. That's what allows it not to pull. On the battery side, let me show you quick, so let me just separate it. There's a micro SD slot right down the bottom. Looks like another mic, so quite a few mics, and then like some kind of speaker, and then a record button, and then obviously the screen itself that has the camera, it does have a record button at top, but that's about it. So I bought this probably like 2-3 days ago. However, I'm gonna take it back. At first, because I watched so much videos on it, it was outdoing my expectations, because I was like, do you know what, it's so cool, but once I took it out for some testing, I just wasn't happy with it. Like, I also recently bought a GoPro, and it's not even the highest GoPro. I think it's like a 7 white or something, and the 7 white's footage made this footage look like a joke, an absolute joke. And for me that's quite sad, because it's actually a good camera. Like this Action 2 DJI by DJI is it's actually a great cam. It was meant to be a great cam. Even the design with the 2 screens and the functionality, and even what it's made out of, like you can see it's a proper high quality thing. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Apple, the way the things are built to high quality, like the frame of them are built and it comes looking a certain way, like it looks proper. But when I basically done a film test where I had a GoPro Hero 7 White next to it, and I was just riding around the city. I went to the shop, I went outside on the balcony to smoke. I just done some basic random things, and I watched back the footage a bit earlier, and I'm telling you, I was actually appalled at the footage of this. At one point the camera started overheating at 1080 60 frames, so I had to drop it to 25 frames, and then it was able to film for about 24 minutes, but then it got so hot that when I put the camera on my face to test the heat, it burnt me, bro. And for me, don't get me wrong, like I get it, action cams heat up. I've had many of them, especially the 7Y. I had one probably about a year ago, and that had a serious overheating problem. But that's because I believe I bought it secondhand. Whereas that one I bought, yeah, it was bought, the new one I bought secondhand, but I've noticed that it's performing a lot better than the original 7 white. So maybe there's been some kind of hardware update or firmware update, or it might just have been that, like I said, I had bought one that wasn't in great condition, and this one is pretty decent condition. But even the fact that the 7Y outdid this, it just shows, because the 7Y is technically 5 generations behind this camera. We're now on the GoPro 10 or 11, if I'm correct. So it's technically 5 generations, and you have to remember that there was still a 7 white silver, there was a 7 black, and this is GoPro I'm talking about, Hero. Yeah, there was a 7 silver, there was a 7 black, then there was an 8, if I'm correct, there was an 8 silver or white, if I'm correct, and then there was an 8 black. 10, I just believe it's just 10, and then I'm not sure if there's an 11, somebody can correct me out. So for me, I would have put this roughly, like if I was going to compare it to something, I would have originally, before I used it, compared this to something like a GoPro Hero 10. I don't think, or even an 11 if one's out, like I don't think it would stand up, because it overheat. I'll show you something. It overheat at the 24 minutes, even at 24 frames, which left me confused, because I was like, they say that this camera films in 5K. So my thing is, if it films in 5K and 2.5K, but it's heating up so bad at 1080, 60 frames and 24 frames, then what's the point of having 2.5K and 5K? Because as a user, you will never be able to use it, because the camera heats up and stops recording. Like it's actually so smart that it will start vibrating and then tell you like, I'm so hot that I need to shut down, so I'm gonna automatically stop your recording. And for me, it was so annoying earlier, because it happened right while I was in the middle of like starting to enjoy my content. So it was just so unperfect. Luckily, I still had the 7Y. This bad boy, luckily I still had this. I'm gonna review this at some point properly, so don't worry, a video is coming for this bad boy soon. But luckily I had that one, so I was able to still grab the footage and finish what I was doing. But it was just very frustrating, because the camera just has the aesthetics, it looks the part, it's really cool, it clips off and just gives you the solo cam with still a screen, and then if you want the back screen and an extra battery, plus the micro SD accessibility, plus the ability to charge via wire, you got the bottom thing. Like, it just, for me, it's very cool for a user, and it's something that when people are around, they're gonna always be like, what's that? And do you know what I'm trying to say? But it's like, if it doesn't do its functioning correct, it's kind of pointless having all those functions, because it's like you get excited, but then you can never really truly use it for what you want it to. So I'm basically taking it back, because it's just appalling. The 7 white footage was better, and the 7 white was able to film everything I asked it to, and it was still active, ready to go. I will say it did heat up, but nowhere as close as how hot this was. Like I said, it was so hot that every time I touched my face with it, it would burn me, G. And for me, it's like, I need a camera that I could even pass to my son or my daughter and say, oh, can you hold this for daddy, and just point it this way, and I would feel safe. Something like this. It comes with, I'll show you this as well, it comes with like a magnetic necklace. So I'll show you quickly. You can connect it and then wear it around your neck and kind of go around. I did this earlier. The one thing that I found was, the whole time I was panicky, because it's not very strong. I'm not gonna lie, it's strong for what it is. But if you notice how easy I just pulled that off. So I reckon if the camera was to swing too furiously, there's a good chance your camera could just go flying off this thing. But on an initial just wear around your neck, around the house thing, it was actually pretty cool. And like I said, I was able to go for a ride, and the camera made it back in one piece. So I will say, like, this, whoever came up with this necklace thing, please make one for GoPro. We need it. We definitely need it. This was a game changer car. It just made me think, do you know what, this is like innovation for the game. Like, this gives you the ability to just drive around with your camera around your neck. That's so cool, like, for me. But overall, that wasn't enough to hold me, because like I said, the footage, I just expected more from it. And I didn't even want to, in the end, test it in 5K, because it was just like, if you're freezing and at one point I had exported the footage, and what was happening when I would play it back, the footage was glitching. So you know, like when it moves a little bit, then it stops, then it moves a little bit, then it stops. And I was just thinking, how is a £400-500 camera? I'm not sure if it's still worth like £400-500, but let's say even two, because I saw it online for £250. So how's a £250-300 camera almost, yeah, doing things that my 7 white are not doing? Like, do you get what I'm saying? It's like my 7 white was making this look like a toy, and the 7 white is like, you could probably pick one of these brand new up for probably about £100. I'm saying that's what their market value second hand right now is, probably about £100. You went brand new, maybe about 150, and this is a free £400 camera. I saw this on the very store, I think it was yesterday, for £450, nearly £500. Yeah, it was at £475 or £480 or something like that. So we have essentially £100 or £150 if you want to go brand new, or £500, and I think second hand they're selling these at £250-300. For me, it was a no-brainer. That's why I'm taking this one back, because I just feel like it's a waste of money. You're more buying the excitement of what it is as opposed to its functionality. And for me, I actually purchased these cameras because I need functionality. Like, I'm trying to grab footage for my Airsoft channel and stuff. Well, you guys know you're on it, but yeah, I just wanted stuff to give my viewers that in-game footage. So I don't want something that after 7 to 9 minutes is freezing and it's overheating, and I just can't trust it. One thing I will say though is the battery life did last pretty well on this, but we do have to keep in mind I've got the extended battery pack attached to it. I've got the other half, and I've got the one that has the screen as well, so that's something also to keep in mind, whereas the standard person might not have what I've got. But the long and short of it is, it's overall, it's a decent cam. If you want my real rating, because you guys come here for honest truth, you see, when I first took this out of the box and before I used it, I was like, oh, this is going to be one of them cams that I'm going to give this probably a 12 out of 10. Because of, and not even because of that, but because of that and because of how shit it did, I'm probably going to give this maybe a 6 or even a 5. And some might say that's an appalling, but why give me this magnetic thing? Because I feel like this magnetic thing is such an innovationary tool. You see, if it was just maybe like 30 or 40% stronger than it currently is, oh my gosh, innovation. I think you guys could even sell this to GoPro. I could just imagine guys running around with their GoPro, and then it would just be cool. It would remove the need for, you know, GoPro has that chest strap thing and you strap the camera to your chest. It would remove the need for that because now you can necklace it. So I think that's cool. But because the exterior is so nicely finished, and you've got the two cameras, well, one camera, and then you got two screens, and then one's like a battery screen, and like you've given me so much functionality to make me excited. You have to deliver. You genuinely have to, and I just don't feel like they delivered here. I feel like somebody created this in a office space. They never took this out on mountain rides and skydiving and swimming. I don't feel like they did that, because if you did take something like this out, you'd learn that this maybe wasn't the design to go for, or some adjustments need to be made to make it waterproof and things like this. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I understand action cams will forever have their faults and adjustments. I just feel like this was such a dream sell. That's one thing I will say. I won't say it's the worst one I've come across on the market, but I'd say it was just such a dream sell, because it comes from the more higher side of value on the market. It was a bit of a letdown. I think that was my biggest letdown, because I was like, bro, this is meant to be one of the top tier cameras. I was proper excited to see the footage, and it just never delivered. So yeah, man, that is the DJI Action 2, which I'm definitely gonna return.